Welcome back to the Midday Reset. My name is Antoinette, and thanks for taking a break with me today. Everyday life can get stressful as we move through responsibilities and commitments, and it's nice to take a break or two. This Midday Reset is meant to serve as a mini mental vacation for your brain as you deal with it all. Let's start by clearing our space with a nice deep breath in and out. Again, in and out. Once more, in and out. Today, I want to talk to you about playing the victim, as in, you shouldn't play the victim. It's super easy to play the victim because doing so does not require much work beyond pointing the finger at who or what wronged you. It's much easier to say, if only this person had paid me back, or if only I had been born a different race or the opposite sex, or if I had what they have, I could do X, Y, or Z. And it's certainly easier to badmouth others than it is to be honest with ourselves about how we, ourselves, could do better. But playing the victim isn't good for you, and I've summed up 3 reasons for why. First, playing the victim will win you no sympathy because everyone has got something they are striving for. And a lot of us aren't there yet, and we've had to overcome setbacks and shortcomings to get to where we are. The fact that you are at the starting line of the race doesn't make you a victim. It makes you a contender. Start taking the steps. It's only then that you will come to realize that everyone's running the race. We're just at different spots in the journey. The paths don't look the same either, and there's nothing we can do about that. But resigning to complaining without action isn't a solution. Next, playing the victim is a passive attempt at living, and you should always strive to actively live your life. You only get one, after all. I like to think of this like bumper cars. Imagine if you and 9 other adults are in a bumper car arena and the operator has just powered on the vehicles. Now you guys are free to recklessly bump and nudge each other all over the floor. But imagine there's one player who just sits there. What happens to this person? Surely they won't end up in the same spot they started, but the direction they will move in will all have been determined by whomever bumps into them. And then their trajectory after this first bump gets determined by whether or not they collide with someone else in their path of motion, which will indeed send them in some other direction to find the same fate. The rider or car operator is just being pushed and slid all over the place, but with no real say in the direction or maneuvering. Some of what bumper cars is about is knowing how to maneuver, as best you can, the vehicle to dodge some but also make straight impact with others. In order to really give your pals a jolt, you have to get up a little speed, which means moving forward continuously without colliding with anyone else. And we've all been there when folks collide with us as we try to rev up our tin can bumper cars so we can go give our spouse or our best friend or our arch nemesis the jolt of a lifetime. It's fun and reckless, and I hope you are able to envision this. Returning to living life actively or passively. I feel like living passively is a lot like that unresponsive bumper car driver. Just being pushed and slid and jolted and otherwise maneuvered this way, that way, out of the way. And I would rather have a say over the direction that I travel. I would rather have a good time learning the ropes of maneuvering life for the sake of forward progress than just sit in the driver's seat and wait for someone or something to come along. Active sounds unpredictable, fun, and exciting. Passive sounds boring. I'd imagine the driver of that passive bumper car would probably get off the ride with much less of a smile or happy demeanor than the other drivers who were out there going for it and laughing off the bumps. I can't be that. Lastly, keep in mind that the amount of energy used to complain, throw up hands, and claim one to be the victim is the same as the amount necessary to find a solution, to plan better, to adjust strategy and approach, and to get through it. If you will be spending the energy anyway, why not make it really count? It seems like propelling yourself forward rather than wallowing in the same spot is a good way to do that. You can reap some superficial benefits from playing the victim, such as acts done from the superficial sympathies others may show you. But keep in mind that the story doesn't stop with the victimhood. In many ways, that's just the beginning. The learning as you go and conquering as you learn and using the bad for good is the real story. Don't believe me? Look at media featuring any assault victim, especially sexual assault. If that person is still alive, they often tell of the positive work that they do now as a result of the experience. They're giving back and educating others with their sharing, and none of that could be done if they were still looking at themselves as victims. If they can face forward, then so can you. Thanks for taking a break with me. As I've been mentioning, this is season 2 of the Midday Reset, and we are growing as a community. Check us out on Instagram at the Midday Reset, where we feature episode content. I'm available to answer questions, and I also host small events here and there to help you stay more organized, more present, happier, healthier, and savvier. I find these things to be beneficial when managing anxiety, depression, or other mental health issues. You can also find us on the web at www.middayreset.com. We have episodes there, and you can sign up for our newsletter. Thanks so much for all of your support, and keep shining.